Okay, I think we're live. I hope so anyway. All right, so Lorraine and I have been having some technical difficulties here. We thought that we could both come on here together, but for some reason that's not working. We tried it yesterday and it seemed like it was going to work, and today we can't make it work. So hopefully at the end of this demonstration, I can get with her and maybe we can figure it out, but you either one of or the other of us we couldn't hear. So we're going to try again. We'll try again. Anyway, I am hoping that someone is going to realize that we're just running a little bit late and jump on. But regardless, I'm going to go on here. Okay. All right. So it's a little dim in here, but anyways. All right. So what we're doing is we wanted to just share with you some of the products that we got that are our favorites. And one of the ones that I fell in love with, well, both of the ones I fell in love with are the ones that have a lot of flora. Hi, Martha. Hi, Sharon. Sorry that we're running late. We were trying to figure out the technology and it wasn't working. So you're going to get either one of us at a time, or if we can figure it out when I get done here, hopefully you'll get both of us. We'll see what happens. Right now you're getting one at a time. All right, so welcome. The catalog, the new mini catalog, is coming out. This is the May through August catalog, and it's not really a mini catalog. The Stampin' Up! Has decided. Hi, Anne. Hi, Lorraine. Stampin' Up! Has decided to go with 3 catalogs for the year. So this is the first catalog of the year, and it's got a lot of spring and summer stuff in here. This is not all the merchandise that they offer. You're also going to find merchandise online with the online exclusives. Okay, so I can't show you the inside of this catalog until Tuesday. But if you've got one in your hot little hands, you can turn to the page with the stuff that I'm going to be using. So it is, I want to say page 22. Let me double check. Yes, page 22. I am going to be working with the Valley in Bloom suite. So let me show you what is in that suite. So we have this awesome, well, that's the dice. Where's the stamp? Here's the stamp. We have an awesome stamp set, and we've got some coordinating dies. I'm going to show you these closer up. But it also, in the suite, you get the embossing folder, which is amazing. I'm going to show you that up close as well. You also get this paper. It's called Valley in Bloom paper. I'm going to show you that up close. And there's also available this, what is this called? Lux White? Yes, Lux White, 12 by 12 paper. I'm going to just show you some little samples of that. Sorry, things are falling down. Things are falling down. So I'm going to show you some samples of that. And then also you get some coordinating embellishments, which I have also already been using. So I'm going to turn the camera down and show you up close some of the things. I will admit that I am a little behind because we were messing around with trying to be heard. I haven't got everything stamped, but that's okay. You'll just have to watch me stamp, but whatever. All right, so let's get this turned down here and get you guys. Oh, I almost just took myself out of the shot completely. There we go. All right, let's get this lined up here. I don't know. I was starting to sweat. We were trying to figure out how to get us both on here at the same time. And that is supposed to be able to be a thing. I'm supposed to be able to invite somebody else and get them to come. And I could get her on here, but for some reason we couldn't get the sound right. So, all right, well, we'll try and figure it out in between. Who else is here? So Cheryl is here and Joanne is here. Thank you, guys. All right. So let me show you. So the Valley in Bloom, this is the amazing paper. I might have already showed this paper, but if you haven't seen it, it's worth looking at. So this is the gorgeous paper. This is one of the pieces, and this is one of those you could just cut it up and make a card front because it's just so beautiful with all the little lily of the valley flowers. And then this is the other side. It's basic beige plaid. Then you've got this one with the really tiny little flowers. This is a nice little background for a card. Tiny little bouquets of flowers. And then the other side is this Coastal Cabana plaid that I just love. I think that's one of my favorites. Beautiful. Alrighty, and then you get this one. This is a basic beige. It's got a tiny little print. You can see that. Tiny little print. And the other side is this pretty green, I think this is garden green wash. That this is really nice to die cut some of the leaves and things out of. Okay, then you get another one of these. This one doesn't have the pattern all the way around, just at the bottom. This would be a beautiful scrapbook page as well. Isn't that pretty? The other side of that is another piece that I love with this little like ditzy blue and green pattern. Really cute. And then there's this one that's just leaves in the garden green. And I think this is Granny Apple Green as well. That one has the backside is Darling Duckling, I think, with some little flowers. And then this last one, some more lilies of the valley. A little bit larger. And then the other side again is this Darling Duckling. Super pretty, very pretty paper pack. And the other sides, the B sides are nice for just general cards, I think. Okay, so then the Luxe White paper. There's 3 prints. There's this one that's got like leaves. And there's this one that's got just lines, kind of like a basket weave almost. And then there's this one that has the Lily of the Valley print. So what I love to do with this is blending. So I had a blending brush. Here's the blending brush. Let me find, sorry, we spent so much time trying to figure out how to, oh, that's the wrong color. How to get on here. I don't have all my things ready, but no worries, hang in there. All right, I'm going to get some Darling Duckling here. And so let's get some color onto this white so we can see the pattern. What's nice about this is it's got, I don't know, what do you call this? Like an iridescence in it. And it almost looks like it's embossed. Maybe it is embossed. I don't know how they make this paper. But it has a pattern in it that is almost invisible until you add some color. So yellow probably wasn't the best color to add, but I think it'll work. I'm doing Darling Duckling because that is one of the colors that coordinates. And I want to be able to use this on a card that is going to coordinate with all the other things. So here is that one now with the Darling Duckling. You can see the print a little bit better. Okay, let's get some little bit darker color. How about some Coastal Cabana? And we'll grab another brush and we'll do this leaf one with, actually, let's not do the leaves. Let's do the basket weave. So you can see the pattern on the basket weave. Am I wiggling the whole desk? Sorry. But what's nice about this paper is that you can customize it. So you could even do more than one color on here. Could do like a ombre effect if you wanted to. But you can customize it to whatever color you want to go with whatever you're making. So here's that basket weave print, as you can see, a little bit better with some color in it. And then on this one, I'm going to grab some green. Let's see where my garden green is. And we'll just get a little bit of garden green in here. I think I just inked up my garden green, so it's got a lot of ink in it. And there you can see this pretty pattern with all the little leaves and stems. Okay, so that's what the Luxe white paper is all about. And you can use that for a bunch of different techniques. And as I said, you can make it any color that you want to. All right, let me put those aside. So that's that. Okay, so I've showed you that and the paper. Now let me show you the stamp set. Here's the stamp set. It comes with this beautiful flower and then this set of leaves. And if you know Lily of the Valley, that's exactly what it looks like with these big, big leaves and these tiny, tiny little flowers. So you've got this long one and then you've got a smaller one. This is the two-step stamping. You can put color into those leaves with this stamp, but I like to color them myself. And then you get some sayings. So you've got to one of the nicest people I know, so grateful for you, happy for you, to a forever kind of friend, happy birthday, and a little thanks. It's a very little thanks. It's adorable. And then the dies are amazing. All right, so the dies, they cut out some amazing things. So they cut out the flower that you're going to stamp, and they're going to cut out your leaves. This is another three-dimensional leaf that, oh, I did cut that out. I'll show that to you in a minute. Then you've got this one that cuts out the small flower. And then you've got this one that will cut out, this is just going to be a die cut flower. And what I have done with this is cut this out in white and then colored the stem and added some color to the flowers because the flowers typically are white. So that's how I've used that one. Then you get this one that's got these extra little flower bells. And to be honest, I haven't used this one yet. I've been so busy stamping the flowers and coloring them. And then you get this one that I have used a lot. This is just a little like accent piece that you can put onto your card. Okay. I'm going to sit that aside. Let me show you the embossing folder because it's amazing. It's large. It's one of the large ones. So it measures 8.5 by 6. So you can do an entire card front here. And this is very hard to see. Let me put some paper inside of it maybe. Oh, here's some green. So this has got this really pretty, oh, still hard to see, really pretty floral pattern. All right, I'm going to show it to you on a piece of paper. It'll be easier to see. Okay. So here we go. This is what it looks like. So this piece I did with the embossing folder. You know, you've got two sides to your embossing folder. So you've got one side where the image is raised. You can feel the flowers and the leaves pop out. And then you've got the other side where the flowers and the leaves are pushed in. So the embossed and the debossed side. This one here, this background was created by putting color with my ink pad on the debossed side, putting a piece of white paper in on top of that, and then running it through the embossing machine. So you will get your color all on the back, the background of that. And then this one, and I did spritz this with water, so you got a little bit more of a watercolor effect on that, but you do not have to do that. And then this one was putting ink on the embossed side where the flower's popping up. And that is why the flower images and the leaf images have the color, and the background is mostly white. It would be a little bit cleaner if I hadn't spritzed it with water, because you can see where the water picked up some of the color. But that is what the embossing folder looks like, and it's absolutely beautiful. That will just make a beautiful card front all on its own. Okay, and then you've got these little gems, embellishments that coordinate with the colors in the paper, and these are called shimmering dots. So there's white, Granny Apple Green, and Coastal Cabana. Okay, this is one of the sets that I did use when I did my garden party, and we did some watercolor techniques. So I'm going to show you a few of the cards that we made. This one, I kind of cased this out of the catalog, actually. So this one, I used a piece of the embossing folder of, what was this, lemon lime? I think this is lemon lime twist that I embossed, and then I cut it and just used part of it for the top of the card. And I used some designer series paper for the bottom, and then just put a piece of, I think this was white, basic white, just a little band there in between the two. And then this was a watercolor background that we created, but you could put a piece of designer series paper in there or another embossed piece of paper. Here's that little piece that's created with that die. It's like almost like a little lattice piece. Then I stamped my flowers, and I added a little banner here and my sentiment and a little bow. Okay, so this is another watercolor background. This was made with the embossing folder that I showed you, where I did the color on the background. And then I put a little frame, my little flowers kind of in and out of the frame. And then I've got 3 little tags here for that sentiment. And then this one, I did a bookbinding card. And so I used my favorite one backside of the paper, that Coastal Cabana plaid. This is another watercolor background we did with kind of a smushing technique. And then I brought in some Blackberry Bliss to do those little accent pieces. And then this is the 3-dimensional leaf here that I cut out of some watercolor paper that I had watercolored on, and then did some of the little flowers in there. So that's the little flowers. So cute, isn't it? Really pretty. All right, so today, it's not tonight, it's today. Okay, I was going to show you this card. So this one I did with, this is a regular card. And the background here is created with the April product of the month. That is the Eyelet Blooms dies. If you have not received this die, I think it's well worth it. Yes, it has a lot of little pieces that pop out, but you do not have to pop all the pieces out. Some of mine are still in there, but it's very cute. And I think that the tip here that I have been hearing, and what I did was I put the die down upside down. Let me get it out of here for you. So I put the die down this way instead of putting it down this way on my paper. I put it this way, put the paper on top, and ran it through twice, back and forth with that. And a lot of the little pieces came out just when I took the paper off of that die. Okay, so there's that. And then I did a little arch, little card that opens up here with a birthday sentiment. So I know I'm late to the game with the arch dies, but they are my new favorites. So you'll be seeing those. And I thought I would make this card with you today. So we're going to make this little arch piece, and we're going to make the little card with a different background this time. All right, now I've got everything spread out over here. Okay, so what we're going to do today, instead of doing this as a regular card that opens up, I'm going to do this just as a flat card. Okay. We're going to get paper. Oh my goodness. I had paper. There we go. Okay, so we're going to make the card base just flat, one-dimensional. We're going to make it 5.5 by 4 1/4. I'm just using basic white thick for the card base. And then I'm going to use some of the Designer Series paper this time instead of that die. I'm going to use this piece with the little flowers. Okay. And this has got that pretty Darling Duckling print on the back. If you guys are asking questions, I can't see them, but I will, if I miss anybody's questions, I will go back afterwards and answer them. And I think Lorraine is in here. She might be able to answer questions as well. Okay, so that's going to be the background of our card. So now what we're going to do is make our little mini card that's going to actually open up with our sentiment. So I've got a piece here that is 3, right? 3 by 8.5. And I'm going to show you how to make that little mini card. So we are going to score this in half. So it's 8.5. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And we're going to get this little piece. Yeah. So in order to get a little card that's going to open and not just, if I cut this like this, I'm going to get just 2 pieces that are arches. What I have to do is cut it like this with this cutting edge off the paper so that it doesn't cut the end here. And then that little flap will remain. So I'm going to get a little piece of tape. I've got some low tack artist tape. You can use a Post-it note, or there is Post-it note tape. And we're going to just tape that down like that. We're going to bring in our die cut machine. So we'll have to go up a little bit. Oh, hang on. We've got bits and pieces hanging out from the last time that we die cut. All right, we're going to put this onto our die cut machine. We're going to only put our plate on the part that we want to cut. So we're going to put this top plate only up to where the edge of that paper is. So we're not going to cover, oh, you can't see me. We're not going to cover this cutting edge. We're only going to go up to where the paper ends. Okay, and we're going to put that down on our cutting surface. Okay, if I could do it straight, that would also be good. 1 second. I need 2 pieces of tape. It's moving around. All right. Let's get this to stay straight. There we go. All right, so my cutting plate, or my top plate, is only going to go up to the edge of the paper. This is very difficult to see at this angle. Sorry, guys. All right, then we're going to make it go through. Nope, it slipped. Let me go this way so I can see what's happening. Come back. Hang on. No one said I was coordinated. I know what I'm doing, but like doing it live is a whole nother story. Whole nother story. All right, let's get this going. It's just slipping on me. All right, 1 second. I'm going to move this die up a little bit. So I feel like the plate is slipping and it's going to cut the paper. So we're going to move that up a bit. All right, we're going to try this again. Okay, you know what? Let's go this way. So I think it will be more stable. All right, let's put it through this way, and we'll put the plate up to the edge of the card. Were y'all yelling at me? Yep, probably. Okay, now it's going to be much more stable. There we go. There we go. All right. Wow, that was a struggle. Sorry. All right, let's get this out of the way. Now, when we take this off, without ripping the paper, okay, we should have, oops, I've got a little piece just hanging on for dear life right there. There we go. All right, we should get our little piece that will open. It's smushed together now. 1 second. We have to get this back open. When it goes through, it wants to smush it all together. There we go. All right, so when this opens, it's going to be a little flap card. Okay, that was a struggle. Sorry about that. All right, let's go back down here. All right. Okay, so now we're going to decorate our card. So what I have done is made some more little, these little background pieces. Okay, I want to pop out, if I can find my take your pick tool, pop out the little pieces because I really do want it to look like a lattice. So I'm going to take out those pieces and I'm going to put that here and here on my little card. And then we're going to create some of the little flowers. All right, let me get my glue. So on this piece, I just want to add some glue to a couple little places for it to adhere. Don't have to put glue on all of it, just the edges, I feel, so it doesn't pop back up. And I got one down this way. And then, whoops, give it a second to stick. And then one on the other side. Okay. Going this way. So that makes a little interesting background for my flowers. Okay. So now I've got some leaves created. one that I stamped and colored. These were stamped on lemon lolly paper. Not lemon lolly, lemon lime twist paper. And this one was stamped on white and colored. And we're going to want to stamp some little flowers. So we need to find our stamps that we've buried over here. Okay. So this one was done with the little flowers because that big flower would not fit on this little card. So we've got our little flower, and your little flower has the leaves attached. So we're going to just use a small block for this. And we're going to use some Memento ink. I say, but then, oh, almost couldn't find it. Here we go. So these are super delicate little flowers. And if you've ever had them in your yard or seen them in person, they're very fragrant. One of my favorite spring flowers. They should be blooming pretty soon. Okay, so we've got some Granny Apple Green and some Lemon Lime Twist for the leaves. This is the light Lemon Lime Twist. And basically, I just give it a little bit of color and then go back in with the Granny Apple Green, just to give it like a two-tone color. This is the dark Granny Apple Green. Oh, that tip is destroyed. Here's the other side. Oh. And then I'm just going to go back with some dark Lemon Lime Twist. All of these markers got well used at the workshop. Okay. And then for the flowers, because I'm using fuchsia, and honestly, I think this paper, the flowers look fuchsia to me in this paper. That's what I am, well, not fuchsia, my brain. Freesia. Fresh freesia. We're going to do some fresh freesia. Okay, this is dark. So I'm going to just put a little bit of dark color right where the flower meets the stem. Just a little dot. And then I'm going to add some light and kind of bring that dark color down. Just add a little bit of light freesia. There. And I should have had these die cut for you, but I don't. So we will have to die cut. Sorry. All right, so let's get these done. Let me grab the dies. Now I'm all disorganized here. Here we go. This one. And we can die cut these, which means we have to bring that machine back. Okay. So we will grab a little piece of tape again so we can do this cleanly and we can get these cut out well. I really love sets where they give you multiple dies for things and you can cut out more than one at a time. But this is not one of those sets, so we've got to cut them each individually. Okay. Oh, hi, Mary. Thanks for joining. Hi, Betsy. Jan jumped on. And Anne, hi. Thanks for joining. Yeah, that DSP is beautiful. But I have really enjoyed stamping and coloring the flowers as well. And I think you could really make your own pretty DSP with the stamps once you use up your pack. All right, so let me get this out of the way again. Get this back down here. All right, we'll get our last flower. And then all there is to it is making your little bouquet on your card. I think I'm going to put this onto this piece first. So I'm going to just anchor this right to the top. So we're going to adhere it with glue. I keep thinking my glue holder's there and it's not. I'm going to flip this around so I can see the edge and align that right up to the edge. And I'm leaving a little bit of space here to see the designer series paper. And I should have stamped happy birthday inside. And we're not going to chance that. So we're going to make a tag. We'll make a sentiment for the front. All right, so I've got my little flowers and I've got my leaves. So what we did on this one was just bunched them together and then we stuck in some leaves. So I'm going to start with one up here and I'm going to add, well, maybe I'll add these guys so that we can see where we want our flowers to go. So I want one high over here and then one in front of that, like that. And then I want one over here. So I want to take advantage of the fact that they also have leaves so you can see their leaves as well. And then I'm going to hang on to this one. So I'm going to pick this up as best I can. I'll put it back the way I had it. And I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to tape it. So this is where Scotch tape is my friend. So I will just take a piece of tape and tape this down to hold it together while I'm putting some dimensionals on there. And then I'm going to also use the dimensionals to hold these pieces in place. If you overlap the pieces with your dimensionals, that will also hold them. Maybe some mini dimensionals up here for the flowers. Or actually, let me get this on there first because I want to add some more leaves. If I put too many dimensionals at the top, I won't be able to stick them in. So let's take these off. And then we'll get this on the front. There we go. And then what I found, what I really like is to go back. I cut these in half. And then, let me trim this one up. It's got a funny shape at the bottom. And then I can turn these over and stick them back here. It's a little too long, so let's make it a little shorter. And I can stick these in so I can figure out where there's a hole and I want to stick them. All right, so I'm going to make that again just a teeny bit shorter. Then I'm going to just put some glue on that. And I'm going to stick that in behind here. There. And then if I see there's another hole, I could use some green back here. I can also fit that one in like that. Okay, so let's get some glue on that one. But that's also why I don't want to put too many dimensionals too high so that I can still get some things behind those flowers. So that looks like a nice, good, full bouquet, I think. Okay, so now we just need a sentiment. I'm going to use my little banner punch. This is the, I never remember the name of it, the banner trio punch. Something along those lines. Let's make a couple different sizes and see what we like. Okay, maybe the smaller one is the better one. Well, let's see if our sentiment fits on there. Okay, sentiment. So we were using, I love this sentiment. To one of the nicest people I know. I just think that's the sweetest sentiment. All right, so we're going to see if that will fit on here, and it's not. So we're going to use this one. It's a little larger. And again, I think I'm going to go with green. So let's go with garden green. Get that on there. Okay, and then I don't want it to be a banner. I'm going to just cut this end off. So it's just straight. Like that. I'm going to put some dimensionals here, just on this end, and some glue on this end because this is already popped up. So we'll get dimensional on there. I don't know why I put them away. I wasn't done. Okay. And then some glue at this end where it's overlapping. And then we'll just get some twine for a little bow. This is the actually linen thread. I call it twine, but it's not. It's the linen thread that Stampin' Up! Carries, and it's my favorite all-time thing to make bows with. Okay, so we've got a little bow. Just need a little glue dot. And I use, if you have Paper Pumpkin, you know that these little glue dots from Paper Pumpkin are the perfect thing to hold on a bow. If not, you can use a mini glue dot that come on the roll. So there's our little bow. All right, and then we just need some embellishments, which I have not buried. They're there. And my Take Your Pick tool. All right, so I'm going to use the green. This is Granny Apple Green, I believe. We'll put 2 here. I've filled this up so much I don't even know where to put the other dimensional. Let's put it. We'll put it way over here. No, let's just put it at the top. There we go. I didn't leave room for bling. Look at that. All right, so here is the one that is a regular card, which of course you can make as well. Opens like that, and it has the little flap. And then here's the one that's just one layer with the designer series paper this time and the little flap. I would stamp happy birthday in there, but I would mess it up because you guys are watching me. So I'm not doing it. All right. Okay, so I think that is it for me. I think I showed you everything. Let me bring back in some of these other cards in case somebody didn't catch them when we first got started. These are some of the ones that I made in with the before we did our garden party. So these were made with some watercolor techniques. All right. Oh, that's too high. There we go. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. Let me see if I can turn this around. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Sorry, we got off to a late start here. All right, there we go. Okay. Well, Lorraine is going to be on in just a few minutes. She's probably going, Michelle, you have to hurry up. I'm going on at 4. So Lorraine is going to be going on at 4 o'clock. So she will be on her page. Find her on her Facebook page. And then hopefully, if we have time in between, we should have time in between, we will try again to try and get together and both of us be together. But regardless, I am here on my page, and you can find her on Chat and Craft with Lorraine, and she'll be on in just a few minutes. All right. Thank you, guys. Stay crafty, my friends, and I'll see you. I'll be back at 6 p.m. Okay? Take care.